You are watching Access LaPorte County, Channel 97. Coming up next, the March 20th meeting of the Michigan City Parks and Recreation Board. You can find more information for this meeting by going to www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Welcome to the Michigan City Park Board meeting for March 20th. If you'd rise and repeat the pledge, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible. Thank you. Will we call the roll, please?
Mr. Freed,
Here.
Mr. Glidden,
Here.
Ms. Sperling,
Here.
Mr. Hoffman.
Here. We have two sets of minutes before us from the previous meeting of March 6th and also our executive session from February 27th. Are there any corrections or additions to either of these minutes? If not, do we have a motion to approve them?
I would move that we approve the minutes.
I'll second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Do we have any project updates?
No, sir.
Old business? We'll move into the table business. Before we move to take item A off the table, I'd like to make an announcement. We welcome everybody here today, this evening. But we're going to, and you're welcome to comment, but we're going to limit everybody to 3 minutes for your comments and no rebuttals for today. So again, when you come up, please come up to the microphone, identify yourself and your address. I think everybody signed in. If not, you could perhaps do it later. So we're going to move on to tabled business, the 2024 Pride Fest licensing agreement. We need to take that off the table.
I would move that we take the 2024 Pride Fest license agreement off the table.
Second it?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, motion carries.
All right, we have tabled this for 2 previous weeks. And there were some questions about nomenclature and some of the descriptions. And so anybody on the board have comments before we move to public comments?
Yeah, I have a
Okay,
comment, Mr.
Roscoe.
President, and I think you had stated as well. You know, the primary thing that we were looking at was really the wording of the statement. I believe the wording previously, or excuse me, the wording that was on the site was that it would be a drag show, and but the wording in the contract, and I know we've changed it. I believe it's now a variety show, was what it's stating now, and the question is really just as far as the change of the wording. If we're changing that wording, is there a reason why we wouldn't just change it just really to say a drag show? And so this would probably be whoever would be coming up, if anybody would be coming up to ask that question, if you don't.
Hi, Sue Harrison, 323 Garrettson Ave.
Julie Geyer, 2214 Maple Street.
Welcome.
Well,
So your question is,
really just so the wording that's on the contract, is there a reason why we don't want to just word the contract as as just stating that it is a drag show, and that's
So-
what it.
there's
It-
like no nefarious means
Okay,
behind that. We're not
okay.
trying to be ambiguous to try
And-
to pull one over on the city. So
Mhm.
I know you're new
And I don't feel, yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've done this. This is my 3rd form I've filled out.
Mhm.
That's how it got sent to me.
Okay,
So
Oh, I
Yeah,
can't hear you.
geez.
I can't hear you. Sorry.
So that's just how it came to me,
Mhm.
presumably, and maybe it was my bad that I didn't ask.
Okay,
That's how it has been the years even
In the
previous
past.
to that.
Okay.
So this is the sixth time it's been called that.
okay,
Like the paperwork comes, it's kind of the same. I sign it and I send it back. Like there isn't a lot of negotiating happening on this contract. So if it's just that wording that you would like it to now say drag show, I don't think we have any issue with that.
well, that's just one of the things. The first question is that. The second question, and I think you had, the first meeting, I believe, when we had talked, you had addressed, as far as talking about it, having the meeting with the children there, and you said that there's children who are there and you don't have a problem with the children being there. And as far because it's not anything that any parents have,
No, let me say
sure,
something.
go ahead.
Because I'm not quite sure what you're worried about,
Okay,
that you're afraid of. Have you seen Tootsie? I mean,
No.
come on, it's just people dressed up.
And it's not-
There is no swearing.
Mhm.
There are no genitalia showing. So I'm really perplexed. I'm almost 60 years old, and you know what? I've lost sleep over this for the last week because I cannot believe we're still here in this day and age doing this. What is going on? And I'm not blaming, I support all of you and thank you so much. I don't understand the two of you. I'm embarrassed because I'm telling you, this festival has been the best thing. And I guarantee any of you people that have been there can tell you it is a family friendly. We've had no problems. And Diane, I invited you last year. Did you come
Nope.
to check it out? No, you
I
would
didn't.
rather sit in your bubble and just judge us. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I feel you're judging me right now.
No, I'm not.
You're intimidating.
No, I'm
Me.
not. Did I intimidate you?
Let me step in here.
Welcome, Mayor.
Good evening. I sent an email. I'm just gonna read the email to make it short and succinct. To all of you, good afternoon. Michigan City is a city of inclusion and acceptance. I've sponsored this event, my own business, and attended for several years now. Had a table there last year as well. Each year, this event has grown. The number of resources and activities is commendable. They have so many social agencies that are there each year, and it's grown year over year. The parents bring their children and family members to the event as a sign of support and acceptance. It is the choice that parents make on whether they attend the drag show, fashion show, variety show, call it what you want to call it. Your obligation as a board member is to be objective and not subjective. And your mayoral appointees. I'll add that. I am also concerned about First Amendment rights and the freedom of speech and expression. Live entertainment is protected by the First Amendment. Shannon has gone above and beyond to put language into the contract to cover some of the concerns. I fully support this event and believe if you deny this request, it would create animosity within the city. People can choose to stay home and or not bring their youth to the event. So, going forward, are we going to now research every band or form of entertainment? Are we going to confirm the lyrics they're going to sing? Are we going to check the attire they're going to wear? This is the path that we're going down if you deny this application. I fully support the event. I thank you for your time, and I just want you all to know that as a city, we're inclusive. We're going down a path that is not correct if you deny this request. Objective, are they following the rules? Subjective, your own personal beliefs. I think that you see all these people in this audience, they're here because this is one of the most peaceful events you will find in Michigan City. And it's grown, I don't even know what the numbers are.
5,000 attendees.
last year, and I volunteer every year. So I fully support the event and all of the people that spend their time and effort and volunteering to make it happen. So those are my comments.
Thank you. Any other comments from the board?
No, sir. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, I
You want
do.
me- I'll keep answering. questions if you
Sure,
want.
that's fine. So I have many thoughts. So number one, I never said I was opposed to the event. And this is my third year being up here talking about this. What I am opposed to is minors being present when there's a drag show going on. I have been very clear about that. I have nothing against the Pride Fest. Okay, so I feel like I'm continually having to say that. So that's where I feel like I'm being judged incorrectly. We are up here to represent the Park and Rec Department and also the citizens of Michigan City, as you're representing citizens of Michigan City. So it's not that I'm not being objective, it's that I'm representing people that I have spoken with who are not aware that there's a drag show going on at Pride Fest. There's a lot of people. And then also that there's children present.
So
So,
I'm gonna guess that these people you're talking to haven't actually been there since they don't know that.
well, no, you're right. Yeah,
Okay.
because otherwise they wouldn't have said that.
Right.
Yeah, they
So
wouldn't have said
you
that.
can't really comment on something if you've never been there, can you?
Well, you can, if you know what a
Okay.
drag show is. I mean, if you're drag.
I don't want us to do
can I
I
finish?
don't want us to go back and forth because I think that's what's gonna happen. Drag shows go from PG, G to rated X, but that's in anything,
That's your subjective opinion.
in any form of. I didn't see anything, I didn't see anything. Let me say it this way. Without being, I don't want people to get up here going back and forth on this. I don't. I'd rather you take the vote. I think everybody here is showing their support by being here. And I don't think there should be dialogue back and forth to argue with you all. And I don't think that, it's not a good look for the city for that to happen. Okay, I'm just gonna be honest with you, but I will say that, I've seen extremeness on a lot of fronts, and we're just saying that because it's a drag show, that we're assuming that it's rated X and that there's things happening, and I didn't see that happen. So I don't know how you resolve this as a board. I'm working on some other things because I just think this is gonna happen every year. And I think you just take the vote and we'll figure out what's next versus spending an hour with arguments up here, with the public arguing with you all about the event. And,
Matt,
so I'll leave it at that. Those are my comments because that's what you're gonna get. You're gonna have 20 people come up here, 3 minutes apiece,
yes, ma'am.
going back and forth with the board on why this is important to them and trying to explain that it's, that this drag show is gonna harm children, but the parents ultimately are responsible on if their kids can be there or not. And if they don't want their kids
I'm
to
sorry.
be there, they don't have to come.
Can I ask you, because you said you've been there
Yes,
as
I have.
well? And you said that they can range from PG all the way to X.
Not at this
No,
particular event.
no, you're saying, I'm
G,
just talking about
G
just,
to X if you
yeah, all
want
the way
to see-
just as.
in general,
Yes,
just like
So,
with any
I'm
band,
only looking at this one, just
Right.
this one.
G.
If you, okay, that was the question I
It's
was.
G, they're fully
okay. And I'm
clothed.
only asking this because you
Right.
did bring up a valid point because you said I'm the new person here and I am new, so I'm just trying to get,
I mean,
I'm sharing
yeah,
what, just like she said as well, people who are coming up to me are saying the same thing. Hey, I have a problem, so I'm just trying to
Yeah.
get your
yeah, it's
input as well.
peop-
Thank you so
and
much.
and but again, the parents, it's ultimately the parents' responsibility whether they come or not. If they don't want their kids there, they won't bring them. If they don't want them to see the drag show, they'll take them away. I mean, I think that's kind of, it's always at towards the end. I mean, so I think that's where I'm confused because it's a choice. And now you're making choices for the parents who are coming to support their kids, who are bringing their kids to the event. And that's, I think, my concern when we start talking about First Amendment protections and things of that. I just hope that you look at it from that perspective and not from individual perspective. If you're concerned with families knowing that, tell them to stay home. They don't have to come to the event. And I think that's where I'm concerned, like, well, they don't have to come. So again, I just truly encourage you to support this event. It's growing. The resources that are out there, it's entertainment. And I don't want to get into a position where the board is now determining the attire, the lyrics, all of that for any type of entertainment we have on the beach or in any park, because that's where we're going next.
Mayor, if I could follow up your comments,
Yeah.
I was asked by Shannon, or at least our office was, to research language that had been used at other Pride Fest. And we have shared with the board and with Shannon language that was used on dress code for the Milwaukee Pride Fest. And so it's been verbatim supplied to the park department, and we're hope that that will help reassure everyone that the city is concerned and that it's consistent with similar Pride Fests held in other communities.
Thank you.
You bet.
And on that note, I have a comment about that it is shown as Michigan City Pride Fest, which I don't think it should be. If anything, it could say Pride Fest Michigan City, but Michigan City Pride Fest makes it look like the employees of Michigan City are putting on this event. Is there any problem with that, with changing that?
Well,
On any
yes, we're already
signage?
Incorporated in bank accounts. I mean, that's a huge deal to change our name.
But this contract doesn't say that. This contract says Julie Geyer Pride Fest.
Again, I'm not the one who fills out the paperwork. I get the paperwork. And as far as Shannon's gonna want to talk, she can say why my name's on it. Why is it just me?
So actually, I wasn't even aware that you were incorporated, but that's a
Yeah.
simple contractual change. I thought
I think when we started, we probably weren't done with the paperwork yet.
probably not. So any changes on the contract are just easy. If variety show, whatever it is, needs to be changed to drag show, that's just changing the contract language. I would like it to make a comment on the dress code, though. If it's the board's pleasure to include that in this Pride Fest major event license agreement, it needs to be included in every single agreement that the park department puts out there. It's gotta be consistent. So just consider that carefully, that if there's a circus that comes to town, they're gonna have to agree to that, or any other.
Or any other
event.
band that
Yeah.
plays down there. I mean, it has to be everybody, has to be all of
Yeah.
us.
So that can be inserted in the contract, and I think we did put that in there for a signature copy tonight, if the board wants the language in there. You wanna change it to drag show, fine, we can put Pride Fest as it Inc.
Michigan
Michigan
City
City
Pride.
Pride Fest Inc., we can change that, I just was not aware.
Yeah. We're-
Again, our staff does the best that they can to fill out these major event contracts, and then they go out to the promoters. So if there are mistakes, bring them to our attention, we simply.
I'm not putting anything on you. I want that on record. I'm not putting any of this on you.
Oh,
This,
no, I
none
get
of this is your issue.
No, I get it. I'm just saying those are just written details.
Yeah, we can just fix it. No, it's not.
Hello, David Hack, 1013 Gardena, Michigan City. I am a school system employee for 32 years and absolutely have no doubt that there is no problem for children coming to this. But for what I wanted to say was like the Juneteenth festival, we worked with them last year and did some collaborating and work together. But their event is called the Michigan City Juneteenth Celebration, produced by MBA of Northwest Indiana. So that is not sponsored by Michigan City either. Again, it's just because the event's in Michigan City. But I just wanted to say, my pastor comes to this First Presbyterian Church, Erica Parkinson Kilborn. The church comes every year. They have a booth. They hand out things. You are loved. You are supported. You have a place to come to. There are kids out there that need that don't know, that don't have that support. I met a young man, 19 years old, came from South Bend, wound up, feeling like he found his place because he was lost. There's so much discrimination in this world. And this event, I mean, it's a drag show, and that's what it is. It's no different than going to the Footlight Players, going to see Aladdin. People dress up. This is G-rated. It is so wholesome, and it's at the very end of our event. We're not forcing anyone to come. It's just, I don't know. It's fun. It's great. I've been a resident of Michigan City for 60 years and would never, ever promote anything that would hurt anyone. And that's all. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yes.
Are there any other questions that I can answer?
I don't think I have any, no, thank you. I don't have any questions, but I mean, as far as your comment, thank you. But I do feel it's different than a play. Those are costumes. This is something where, well, just let me finish. Just a minute, let me finish. Yep, that's fine. I just feel Aladdin, those are costumes, and these are impersonators, impersonating a different gender. So that's different.
Excuse me. We're
Talking down there.
microphone in here.
Okay,
The audience, just
Nope,
if you have
go ahead.
something to say, your turn will come up.
okay.
Okay, so these are two of the pictures from your Facebook page.
Uh-huh.
And when I saw this child, this little girl handing money to somebody, that bothers me.
Is it the money interaction that's bothering you?
Yeah, a little girl is tipping an impersonator.
Do you think she brought her own money?
I don't know. It's just
Well-
the fact that action of her handing cash to an adult impersonator.
I don't think that child was probably forced. But again, I'm not that child's parent.
Right, so that, it doesn't matter if they were forced or not forced. I mean, that's the point, that children are,
But
they
is that your daughter?
don't- No,
Okay. Are we gonna say that we know what's right for that child when she's not ours?
well, on that note, I don't know if you know this, but last year in 2023, 14 states legislated that minors cannot be present at a drag show.
Luckily,
that
we don't
means-
live there.
That means that both the Senate and the House and 14 states agreed upon that. They represent the people of their state. I think that says a lot, and I'm.
Is that Indiana?
Nope. But just a minute, I'm saying that because I'm backing the way that Roscoe and I feel, and there's other people that feel that way too.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm just telling you, I'm not the only one that feels this way.
I don't think you are the only one that feels that way, but you are one of two people that has control over entire city's event. Which I want to point out that the person on your left picture here, that small person wearing black, is a grown woman who's 30 and married. So that picture, you don't even have a child in the picture.
Well, there is a child in the picture, but I wasn't talking about that one. I was talking about the one. on the-
I know, but you have two up there to show your point, and one of them is a grown adult woman who's married.
I didn't say she was a child.
I know you didn't say she was a child. You're talking about the one on the right. I'm talking about the one on the left, which
Yeah.
also must be there to prove your point. The one on the left is an adult.
The one on the left I have up there because it's showing another impersonator and it's showing cash. What is this turning into? This is a family-friendly park event and we're tipping people who normally are entertainers in a 21 and over club.
Not necessarily, no.
Well, that's how it's always been until recently.
That drag performers were only allowed in 21 and over. clubs.
No, not allowed. That's where they were. That's where these performances were. Which makes it an adult-oriented form of entertainment. Because why didn't they start out in plays and in grade schools and,
I mean, there's drag library readings all over the country.
I know that too. Mhm.
So yeah, would that be
Yeah.
better if there was no money exchange?
I would love that.
So is that gonna go in the contract and then every other band and everything that happens at the beach is no longer allowed to take any tips?
Not necessarily. I think we'd have to
So
refer.
just this,
No.
so just this event, you
I'm-
want it to be a
No.
non-tipping
I'm
event?
talking about children who are tipping.
So children are not allowed to tip at the event, but other people could.
You know what? We can refer to our attorney then on that.
Whatever we impose just needs to be consistent from event to event. So
Okay.
we've talked about the dress code. It needs to be in any event as well. I think you want to think carefully before you go on a no tipping because certainly bands and others do that, but whatever you impose just needs to be consistent across the board.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
So the food truck event, all of those would no longer be allowed to take any tips.
That's not at all what I was saying. So.
But that's an event at the park
So
that,
let me just say then, I was wrong by saying that.
Okay.
I'm not an attorney.
okay,
I'm just bothered by that picture and that
Okay.
action. And that's my point.
okay.
Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. The people of Michigan City need to be aware of that. That there's children there and they're tipping a drag show person and.
So
an
where did
entertainer.
these pictures come from?
Your Facebook page.
Which is public?
Yeah.
Okay, so anybody could see them.
Yeah.
Okay, we're also in the newspaper every time this happens also.
Okay. Well, I don't remember seeing that picture in the paper, but
Well, there's a lot, I mean, there's lots of pictures in the paper. It's not just one
Okay.
or two.
okay.
And LaPorte County Life, and I mean, they're all over. It's not as though we're trying to keep this event hidden. We're not trying to keep something away from people knowing what's happening at the event.
Mhm.
It's out in public at the park. Like everybody who passes by has to know what's happening there.
Mhm.
And the drag show is a very small part of a much larger event that I think we're missing. It's a much larger event than this 2-hour show that I understand you have an issue with. I get it. I totally understand. We don't see eye to eye on that. That's fine.
Mhm.
The other part of this event that's probably more important to most of these people sitting here are all of the resources that our mayor talked about that are available to people in this area and some that don't live in Michigan City and come here specifically so they can be around other people where they feel comfortable and they're not going to be judged.
Right. And as I said, I don't have a problem with the Pride Fest. And I mean, why not just focus on that? Why is it so important to have children at the drag portion of it?
Because I think you don't suddenly become part of a queer community at 18.
What do you mean by that?
Well, you want it to be just like when they're adults, then these things, like, I don't think you don't know. You don't realize that at 18, you just aren't an adult now and now I know that I might be part of a queer community. Or I have 2 moms. What's it like to have 2 moms? A lot of kids don't know, but they can come to this event and they can see people with 2 moms or 2 dads.
Mhm.
I mean, we're focused on a very small thing that's stopping a much larger thing from happening. That's how I'm feeling about this. It's a very small thing that's stopping a much greater, larger thing from happening. And I think you do need to be objective. I think Shannon can probably talk to, we're pretty good to work with. We leave that park probably cleaner than when we get there. I've never heard a complaint from your department about anything that we've done or do. We pay a lot of money to have this event. And we bring a lot of people to this city, even if you don't agree with them. We bring a lot of people here, and if nothing else, they pay to get into the park. That's $15 a pop now. It's thousands of dollars.
All right, let's move on. You have any other points?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
No further points. Thank you, Julie, for your
Thank you.
comment. Well, I think a simple solution here is let's vote. I would look for a motion to vote on the 2024 Pride Fest.
Can I say
Great.
something?
Oh,
Sure,
Oh.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
She's got a comment.
My name's John Carrington. I live at 140 Esther Street. Hi, Diane.
Hey,
Do
John.
you remember me?
I do.
I used to be the organist at Diane's church, which is now closed, but it was an Episcopal church up in the dunes. And, I was just thinking about the face painting we did at the carnivals, and And nobody said anything about that. We were painting kids' faces, probably your kids even. And I don't see where did those pictures go, but they were wearing jeans and a shirt and an undershirt. And I just want to make a distinction between a strip performance and a drag show. If I missed it, I'm sorry. I was on the train from Chicago and it ran late, but a strip performance is adult oriented. It's designed for people over the age of 21. It's designed to arouse people, and it involves the removal of clothing. And a drag performance is costumes and makeup and hair, and it's social commentary. It's pop culture, it's music and dancing and like theatrical cosplay. And it's important because they address social issues and conflicts and things like that. And it's very relevant, and it's very hip, and it's very up to date. And this is a really cool festival because all kinds of aspects of the community are represented, including churches that have booths there. And I think it's really important that we don't falsely equate strip performances and drag, because it's not that. It's just a performance. It's like art, and we shouldn't discriminate against artistic expression, even if it's a form of free speech. And I feel very strongly about that. I just wanted to make the distinction between stripping and drag. Thank you.
Anybody else have comment? Yes.
Lori Poulin, 13 Jamestown Drive. I just want to start by saying I fully support the Pride Fest. I think it's a wonderful event. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I'm one of those silent people that I typically sit back and I don't say anything. You know, I might talk to my friends, and I just feel this is an opportunity for me to publicly say, again, I support them 120%. The festival is great. Like Julie said, brings in a ton of money for the city. I do agree with them, though, on having that event so open. And the reason I think that is because my mom and dad used to love taking my kids to the park, right? And I, as a parent, if my parents were there with my children, supporting them, absolutely. If they happen to walk by the stage and see something like this occurring, it would bother me as a taxpayer. My parents think it's okay to take my kids there. I know a lot of people think it's great, but the silent majority maybe don't think it's okay. I just felt the need to come up and express that as a citizen of Michigan City who pays my taxes. Thank you.
Thank you.
More comments?
Ashley Kohler, 105 Avalon Court. I just wanted to point out that I am an ally of our community. I support our community and love all people that want to make other people's lives better. And I was a little offended when I'm not into the theater or anything like that. I support people that are. But when comments were made that people may dress up as different genders, that happens every day in plays across the world. And I feel like that was a very judgmental comment directed at just drag, when in every theater performance in Michigan City has people of different genders playing different roles, and that's never an issue. So I think that we need to look at this a little bit differently, because we're trying to take something away for personal feelings instead of what's helping our community. So thank you.
Any other comments?
Hi, I'm Abigail Groupie, 237 Leo Avenue. And I'm 15. I'm a sophomore at the Michigan City High School, and I'm in the school's yearly theater performance. I want to say that dressing up as a different gender is absolutely not wrong. I'm in the play and I dress up as a man. I've dressed up as men. Like my role as in the play has been men multiple times. So what you're saying is that I'm not allowed to dress up as a man and enjoy myself when when I am a biological woman. So yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Angela Hensman, 237 Leo Avenue. That was my daughter. I am also the LaPorte County Democratic Party Chair. I have been a sponsor, a supporter, a volunteer, and someone who has benefited greatly from the Pride Fest every year. I have 2 children who are in the LGBTQ community who have also greatly appreciated the Pride Fest. You talk about children. Let's talk about children, shall we? 45% of LGBTQ high school students in the nation have considered suicide this year. That was released last year. 23% of high school students in Indiana, because of all our wonderful legislative laws, have actually tried to commit suicide this year. You want to talk about children? This event protects and defends and supports these children who are desperately in need of a supportive, accepting society where they don't get it because we have 14 legislators who have outlawed so much of our culture and our identity. We need Pride Fest because it creates a place of belonging, a place where people can walk in there and hold hands with someone they love and not be afraid, a place where they're accepted without judgment. It's a safe place. And that is the kind of thing that we need in this community. We don't need people who are judgmental, who are going to try to stop this event that has been nothing but supportive to these kids. And what message do you send to the youth of our community who struggle every day, according to these statistics? What message are you sending? That we don't want you here? That we don't want your visibility here? And one other thing, I've been to several of their drag shows at the Pride Fest. They are family friendly. These are individuals who are performing in full clothing to very friendly songs and creating an upbeat environment. And I don't know of very many performances that are any different. So if you outlaw the drag show, you better outlaw all the other performances in this city. And if you want money in this city, I know you won't do that. Because I can also tell you, like they said, 5,000 people. We must be doing something right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments? All right, seeing none. We took this off the table, so need a motion to vote on the 2024 Pride Fest.
I would move that
license
we
agreement.
accept the 2024 Pride Fest license agreement.
Second?
All in favor, say aye.
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 Voice roll call. All right, Mr. Freeze.
Aye.
Ms. Spurling,
Aye.
Mr. Glidden,
Aye.
Mr. Hoffman.
Aye.
Let's have it.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming and enlighten them some of the things that I think many people did not realize.
As we do every year. Please come.
Thank you.
Thank you. Give me a free t-shirt.
Our next point of business, new business is item A, Goodwill Senior Community Service Employment Program Agreement.
Yes, thank you. So, Will, Pat Volts, and Zoo Director Jamie Huss and I met with, Goodwill. They are offering a senior community service employment program and asked if we would be interested. The program brings people 55 and over back into the workforce. And they also have a lot of training through Goodwill to give them soft skills, computer skills. We can hire up to 6 this year. They pay their wages. They can work up to 20 hours a week, year round, as long as they have enough people in the pool. So we did have this approved by the city personnel director and the city attorney. So they've used this program in the past. It's a great program. It helps the seniors. For me personally, if I can get some of them into the parking operation to cover our year end when our college kids and high school kids go back to school, that's going to fill a big gap. Jamie also can use them in the concession stand. And as you know, our concession numbers have not been good over the past 2 years, mainly because our wages have gone up so high. So this is kind of a win-win for both the senior program as well as the park department. And I would ask that you approve this agreement tonight.
Comments?
I think it sounds great.
I think it's wonderful, especially mentioning at the end of the year where we've suffered because of a loss of income with knowing to all our students have returned to school.
Yeah, so there's no cost to the city. They even pick up the workers' comp insurance. Our only obligation is to actually train them in the position that they're at, document that, and turn in payroll. That's it.
Any other
Good
comments?
program.
Comments from the public? Do we have a motion then to accept the Goodwill Senior Community Service Employment Program Agreement?
I'll make a motion to accept the Goodwill Service Agreement.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries.
Mr. President, I would ask the board to table the next 2 items, B and C. The funding, the federal funding for the Water Tower Park project is scheduled to be released on the 22nd of this month, but I put it on the agenda just in case it was released early so we could move this forward. So if you'll table it and we'll put it on the next meeting agenda.
Do we have a motion to table item B and C?
I would move that we table items B and C.
I'll second that nomination.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Good, look forward to that information. Next item of business is the park rules and regulations. We received a printed copy of that, and really, thanks, Shannon. I was trying to recall all these things, and I have one question, and I think I know the answer. Some of these things, I know as you come through the main gate, there's posted no dogs and a speed limit. Do we have, as much as I'm down there for different things, do we have a sign that mentions no glass on the beach?
So we had 3 rule signs down in Washington Park, but they were so deteriorated, we took those out. We do have capital funding this year for new signage. However, all capital is on hold right now, but prior to like trying to design these signs, I just wanted to add what's outlined in red. So no pets allowed, but service animals are permitted, which is the law. I wanted to add 2 charcoal grills, also wood fire grills, because a lot of people are using those as well, just to make it more specific. I will say our maintenance director has told me since we put the charcoal bins in for charcoal collection that our tree fires have gone way down. We are writing a grant right now to get more of those for Washington Park. But specifically, we just want to make sure that people are not putting charcoal or wood fires on our beach because they tend to bury them in the sand and it's a huge safety issue. And then I'd also like to add fireworks are strictly prohibited. They're not only a safety issue for the public, but they're a fire hazard for the dunes.
Shannon, what kind of bin was that you were talking about?
They're bins for used charcoal. So say
Oh,
you have
for
a
you-
cookout and yeah, you can't put the hot charcoal back into your vehicle to leave the park. We have
Right.
bins for that.
Thank you.
So they're fireproof, and they are being used, which is great. We just need more.
Any other comment? Yes, Captain Roscoe?
I had a question on number 4, ma'am. You say no pets allowed and you want to add service animals are permitted. And I'm just thinking of those workers that are there who had what about emotional support? I've been hearing a lot more people want to
Emotional-
bring an emotional support.
Emotional support animals are not recognized by the federal government as service.
Perfect.
animals.
Okay.
Our staff is trained.
Okay. That was gonna be my next question.
2 questions that you can ask someone when they say they have a service animal.
Mhm.
The law is quite clear, so our staff is trained.
Perfect.
And believe me, we have had
I'm sure everything.
support guinea pigs, snakes. I'm not kidding. You
Snakes.
name it.
Oh my
We've
gosh.
seen it.
Okay. And then on number 10, you have no metal detectors permitted on the grass.
Mhm.
In the event somebody loses something that's dear to them there in the grass.
Yeah, that'd
And
be a
they're
special situation. They could
So-
call us. I'd send staff out. This is just to
So-
keep people from digging.
Well, so my question was, what about it? Or, I mean, even if you say no, that's fine, but unless permitted. Which then means they have to still call to get that permission,
Right.
or do you just,
Yeah, that's
I
not
think,
a bad idea, but then it opens it up to everyone's gonna call and say, well, what's permissible, what's not permissible?
yeah,
I would say I'd much rather, like you lose something that's that valuable, you're going to call, like, can I take mine? Oh, sorry. If you lose something that's that valuable, you're gonna call and ask, like, can I use the metal detector in the grass to find whatever it is, so.
okay.
I would rather them have to come seek out the permission than us give them permission up front.
Oh, no, I was just asking, yeah. Thank you, sir.
I had a question about
Yeah.
pets. I think we gave permission to people to take their pets to Millennium Plaza last year with the,
Correct. So Millennium Plaza has its own rules.
okay, are there any other parks where pets are allowed?
Bismarck, or I'm sorry, Canada Park, because it's the trailhead for the Bismarck Hill Trails. Any of our parks that have nature trails right now, dogs are permitted. So that's Memorial Park, Ruby Woods, Winding Creek Cove, Singing Sands Trails included in Bismarck Hill.
Well, then, I mean, there's a statement there in the 5th line down. The following rules apply to all Michigan City Park Department properties.
Oh, good point. So we need to put an exception for the dogs. Let me think about that, but that's a good point. Yes, we do need to address that because they are really only allowed in Millennium and in parks that have nature trails or the Singing Sands Trail. So actually, do you want to table this?
I was gonna ask that, yeah.
And let me, think about that wording a little bit. And then another issue came up, just last week. People are digging enormous holes on the beach. I'm talking enormous holes, 8 feet, 10 feet deep.
Oh, my.
It's already started. Our maintenance director sent me some photos last week. I've been doing a lot of research nationwide. How many deaths occur is staggering. So I am looking at language, but I think it needs to be more than a park rule. It needs to be a city ordinance so it can be enforced.
Okay.
So what a lot of communities are doing, the rule is beach holes can be no deeper than the knees on the smallest person in your party. So if you have a 2-year-old, it can't be deeper than a foot. If you have Will out there, what are you looking at? 3, maybe 3, and then they need to be covered up when you leave.
Yeah.
So beyond the collapse situation, a few of the incidents that I researched resulted in like lifeguards. So say the lifeguards get a call, stop 2, they jump in their truck, they hit this 8-foot hole. Some of them go flying out of the back with the equipment. Some of them hit the dash. Well, now you've just got 4 more victims. And nobody to go to the rescue and your equipment's broken. So it's like, it's a big problem. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I don't think, I mean, we could definitely add it to our rule list at some point. But I want it to be an ordinance like number 12. So meaning if you violate the city ordinance, there will be citations and you have to pay. Now, I did find a city in Michigan. They impose a rescue fee. So yeah, it's $3,000, up to $3,000
Wow.
if you need to be rescued.
Hmm.
And the other issue that came up is there is training for sand collapse situations, which I was not aware of. So we're gonna call on the fire chief. We've got a meeting request out to him, like, are our people trained properly? Because they said, you know, the hole collapses, you got a child in there, all these worried people run up, they start digging and they're actually making the problem worse because they're not doing it properly. So there's a lot that revolves around that, but just so you know, that's a new rule that could be coming your way, I hope, this summer.
So
But in
then
the
would you-
meantime, yeah, if you can table this, because we don't have the money for our signs yet.
Wow.
Anyway.
So what will be the rule? No digging, or you have to replace what you dug? Because,
So the rules that I looked at were pretty consistent. Most of them were ocean communities, but it was the no deeper than the knees on the shortest
Yeah.
person
Oh.
in your party.
oh, okay.
And that you have to bury the hole before you leave.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that was pretty much it. And then some impose a fine if you let your kids dig a 6-foot hole and it collapses on them, you're gonna get charged for that rescue
Mhm.
effort.
Yeah,
And hopefully your child survives.
yeah.
And I don't know if you saw just recently in the news, a little girl from Indiana, I think she was 4 years old, died in Lauderdale Beach over a sand collapse. She and her 7-year-old brother.
I've never even heard of this. So they dig a hole and then they get sucked in?
The sides collapse.
Yeah.
It gets too deep and it just, the sides
Oh,
collapse.
it's really
and
deep.
then The more
Okay.
you struggle, the more
Yeah,
packed
yeah.
in you get. So yeah, she was from Indiana just a couple weeks ago on spring break.
Wow.
It's only 5 to 8 foot hole.
Yeah.
I can't imagine why you would, unless you're gonna bury a body, why would you need an 8-foot hole?
We can't figure out what
Yeah,
is
on
this
record.
phenomenon of people digging these giant holes on our beach and when are they doing it?
Yeah, that's a lot of work.
Why are they doing it?
Yeah,
Yeah, no.
that's not what I go to the beach for.
So
I go to
mean,
relax.
Pat's been bringing it up for the last couple of years and I think it just really hit me when he sent me the first picture, when I started researching it, Indiana pops up. Because child lived here. But yeah, get online. It's strange.
I know construction companies, and when they dig holes, they have forms they put in there it can happen real fast.
Exactly. And it happens faster in sand than anything else. So-
Yes, you're right. All right, any other comments? If not, would we have a motion to for the park rules and regulations to be tabled?
I would move that we table the park rules and regulations.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I-
Motion carried.
I didn't say aye, sorry.
Proposed maintenance seasonal landscaping, labor job description. We have that printed before us. Anybody have any comments or questions about this job description? I thought it was pretty thorough myself.
Mm-mm.
Any comments from the public about job description? Seeing none, do we have a motion then to accept the proposed maintenance seasonal landscaping labor job description?
I move that we accept the proposed maintenance seasonal landscaping laborer job description as written.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried.
The 2024 sticker distribution office dates and hours of operation. And Shannon or Will, somebody has printed an all-inclusive chart for all the days.
So the mayor recommended that we look into this, just to see if it would be a cost savings, and it actually is. So looking back at 2023, 85% of all of our stickers, whether they were paid or free, were distributed between May 6th when we opened and July 3rd. So shrinking the hours of the operation from May 1st to July 3rd, only going through July 3rd, to pick up that holiday traffic for the 4th of July. That's obviously our busiest weekend, could potentially save us $4,800. So the proposed schedule would be closed on Mondays, but staying open Tuesday through Friday from 10 to 6. We used to close at 4. That gives the after work crowd a little bit more time to get their stickers, and extending our hours on Saturdays from 9 to 1 instead of 9 to noon. So there's an extra hour on the weekends. Also doubling up our sticker clerks on the days that we're really busy, which are typically Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's when most people get their stickers. So there would be 2 clerks working to keep the lines moving. I hate when I go down there in the mornings, and most of you know I'm down there every single morning, 7 days a week when the season opens. And when I see a line of like 15 people, I'm just like, why? And we've gone to the scanning system. We try to automate it to make it faster. But with this model, we can afford to keep those lines moving quickly and still save money. So I am all in favor of this. And it also closes the operation down earlier, so it's one less thing to manage. Now, the one thing I would say that I don't like is if someone doesn't get their sticker during that 9-week period, they're gonna have to pay at the gate. So could increase revenues, but it could make people very angry too. So that's the one downside of it. However, I think with enough advertising.
I'll be honest, I live in the city, and there were times I forgot to pick up my sticker, and guess what I did? I either paid when I was there, or I just drove back home.
And I think the first year is gonna be hard, but once people realize this, you have to get your stickers early.
And they can't pick them up here.
We can't handle the traffic, them picking them up here.
I mean, after July 3rd.
No, you just won't be able to get them unless it's a special situation. So if you bought a new vehicle, there's a handful of special situations that we could handle in the office, but I don't want to move the operation
Yeah.
from Washington Park
Right.
down here.
No.
We don't have the.
I know you
capacity to
don't.
do
Yeah.
that At all.
Yeah.
So it's get your stickers and here's your.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon, you put that in the newspaper, don't you?
We
It-
will put this
it-
everywhere. this
Okay,
year.
and it's also on our website.
It'll be on Facebook, our website. We'll probably put a banner up at the entrance to Washington Park.
Well, I think that's sufficient.
Newspaper, radio, all of our press release channels.
Oh, yes, the radio, yes, also.
So,
Any other questions?
am I reading this right? So the revenue is 44,000 roughly. And that accounts for 85% of the sales. Is that what you're saying? Through July 3rd, 44,000 is 85% of the revenue for the summer.
Oh, so what I'm saying, like, if you go to the top table, the residents, 88% of the free resident stickers are distributed during that.
Yeah.
69% of the non-residents, which equates to total is 44,000. Yeah, that is a little confusing.
That's okay. So then just doing a little algebra, if 44,000 is 85% of the total sales, then the 15% that we're missing out on is what dollar amount?
Net into the total sticker sales. and
Is that like $6,000?
Yeah, and maybe that's something that we offer paid stickers here. But again, if you don't get your sticker in time, we're gonna make the revenue probably at the gate.
I agree with that, but paid stickers maybe could be bought. I don't know. Cause then, like I said, we're missing out on 6,600, we're saving 4,300.
Right, you're
Right?
saying
Am
if
I
they
reading this right?
just don't come in and buy them.
Yeah. But if everyone then goes to the $15, is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
If everyone goes to the $15, then that might be more than 6,600.
That's only
It'll be
two
20.
You're right, you're right, you're right. Okay, that makes
sense.
sense, yeah. Good point, good point. Okay, I had to like think this out. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and then like you said, you're not managing that either, which is huge. I mean, I know the wages are included in here, but still management of any labor down there, I know is like really tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just call offs
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
you know, filling the schedule.
right,
and-
yeah, I think so. We could try it. Yeah, yeah.
Any other comments? Comments from the public? Do we have a motion then to accept the 2024 sticker distribution office dates, hours of operation?
I move that we accept the 2024 sticker distribution office dates and hours of operation.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I was glad to see this next item G about the 2024 Patriot Park Concession Operation Lease Agreement. Shannon, I really tip my hat to you. You really spent some time trying to get this, someone to take over the concessions.
Yeah, so just to remind the board, this was put out to bid in December of 2023, again in January of 2023. It was targeted and directly mailed out to, I think, 17 different vendors in the area. Posted in the newspaper twice, on our Facebook. We got zero response to either bid request. So then Joe Garner, who owns Third Degree Burn Barbecue, expressed some interest in it. And because we got no bids, the law allows us to negotiate a contract, which we did. His offer is $700 per month. I'll remind you that the last vendor was $400 per month. And the terms of the agreement are the same as what we had last year, except for the dates changed and the amount. Our attorney, Laura Nurnberg, has approved this, and so has our insurance carrier, General Insurance. So I would recommend that the park board approve this. So we will have a concessionaire this year.
Questions?
I think it sounds great. I was just wondering, what is the average amount of hours that he would have to have give service there? Because I see there's fines if he's not there. So what, like, does he know what he has to plan on for what's
Yes.
expected?
So he has our NSA BPA schedule,
Mhm,
and really during the week, sales are poor.
mhm.
So we're looking at mandatory Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Okay,
And then whatever he feels is profitable for him during the week, which
Okay.
we'll probably have to try a few weeks.
good. I
out.
think that's fair.
You know, as
yeah.
busy as it is during soccer, they sell zero.
Yeah.
Youth baseball, all of our leagues, the parents bring
Mhm.
stuff in,
Yeah,
so.
It's more the adults.
Or the adults or the coaches or, you know, grilling hot dogs and hamburgers for the team, so
Mm.
just not really viable during the weekdays, but
Mhm,
he does have our schedule for the year.
mhm.
And again, it's weather dependent, so
Yeah.
it's a risky business out there.
Yeah. Okay. You feel good about this? Cool. Awesome.
Any other comments, questions? Thank you. When I had family playing at this age, I was out there quite a bit, and it was nice to, if nothing else, be able to go over and get a bottle of water, plus snacks. So I really appreciate Shannon, the work you did, and Joe, I appreciate you stepping up, and good luck to you.
Yeah.
Are there any comments from the public?
Oh, yeah. Where's the menu? I'm ready to place an order.
Oh, I should have provided it because there was some pretty interesting items on there that we haven't had before.
Oh, for,
I've had
I
Mr.
think the
Gardner's.
name is unique. It was
Like the big turkey legs,
third degree burn.
grilled wings, like
Yeah.
stuff that they will really sell with these out-of-state teams that come in for the tournament.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Samples, yeah.
Their normal options are pizza, hot dogs, nachos, cheese. We're gonna have some of
That's
this
awesome.
stuff out.
Yeah.
So let's give Mr. Garner a plug here. Where are you located? Where are you located?
Well, actually, I have a, we do, for the past, I had a.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys remember, I used to have a restaurant on 11th Street called Third Degree Burn. So I go all the way back from 2007 and everything. So I started off, I had a restaurant called JoJo's. I had that, and then I had Third Degree Burn Barbecue. So for these past few years, I've been doing like a lot of, I did some caterings and things like that. And I also done like some past things in like the Wine Fest and different things in New Buffalo, things like that. I was also in Taste of Michigan City. I did that, things like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys ever remember things
Oh,
like
yeah.
that. So, but I done pretty good. Done some things for Bob McKee, did some caterings for him, things like that. So, yeah.
Nice, awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
good luck.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you. All right.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
thank you for stepping up and good luck.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to accept the Patriot Park concession operation lease agreement?
I would move that we accept the 2024 park concession agreement for Patriot Park.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next item is the 2024 brew at the zoo and the 5K run. And we have the license agreement and also the information for that Mr. Stimley has given us for the 5K run.
So these are return events, very successful events. They both benefit the Washington Park Zoo. This year at Brew in the Zoo, they're asking for a parking waiver, parking fee waiver if someone shows their ticket at the gate. I tried to do as much math on that as possible. They don't keep track of how many people are Michigan City residents and how many aren't. So I just had to kind of make a guess at that. They do, however, donate between $8,000 and $10,000 a year. Last year was an exception because they had not hosted the event for 3 years, so it was kind of slow. They made 3,200. But yeah, I'm in favor of waiving the fees, which I'm usually not. So we're guessing that probably half are Michigan City residents. I'm trying to do the math here. Maybe $4,000 would be a revenue loss or under. But if you compare that to the 8 to 10,000 they give back to us, and I think if people don't have to pay the parking fee, they'll sell more tickets. The board has always waived the parking fees for their participants of the 5K. Also waived the shelter rental fees and also allowed all race participants to enter the zoo free that day if they show their bid. So there's no changes in this year's contract.
Well, and it says it starts at 7:30.
Right.
Is that what time it, like, people start arriving to get signed
Or-
up?
Which one?
The front page
For the 5K.
says it
Oh, the
starts,
5K? Yeah,
yeah. So we don't start charging until 8 o'clock anyway, right?
correct.
So
Yeah,
they'll be there
once
before 7:30.
Yeah. So they would probably be
We've
not
never
paying, they wouldn't be
charged
paying either
for the
anyway.
5K. It's just this year now they're asking to extend it to group. which I think is fair because it's, the money's coming back to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate Mr. Stimley and everything he does for the Zoological Society especially, and the zoo. Provides a lot of things that if we had to pay for them, I'm not sure what we could do with our zoo. And it's good participation. I've talked to John, and it's 300 or 400 people. That's a big, nice turnout. Again, most of them are gonna be there long before 7:30. So that's the only comment I have. I really appreciate the effort.
I think
Any
the
other
the brew
comment?
at the zoo, they expect more people. They lowered the price. They expect more people this year and they have more participation. So it's being very well organized.
Oh,
How much did they lower it? Do you know?
$50. It was 65, I think.
Oh, okay.
yeah. Any comments from the public? We'll include both the brew at the zoo and the 5K in this motion, item H. If there aren't any other comments, do we have a motion to accept the license agreement for brew at the zoo and also the rental agreement for the 5K?
I would move that we accept the brew at the zoo and 5K agreement with the Zoological Society.
Second it?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
We have the 2024 revised Wolves Soccer Club MOU. And if you'll note, there was one change in section 4. Whereas the park maintenance and not the Wolves Soccer Club will be responsible for lining the fields. Otherwise, everything is the same, isn't it?
Yeah, everything else is the same. After, we had this about a month back, you guys approved it, and before Meredith signed it and sent it back to me, she said there was a couple things that she noticed on in there that she wanted fixed. Just so it was no confusion through the season, and it was really just that one fix about lining the fields, who was responsible for lining the field.
So I thought in the past, WSC did line by themselves. Is there a reason why we're changing it to the parks?
They said they had a person that did line the fields for them before, but he's not around anymore. And last year, halfway through the season, our guys kind of stepped in and made it happen. So I asked Pat if he was okay with it this year. He said it wasn't a
That's fine.
problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was gonna be my next question.
Yeah, it was with the Wolves Soccer Club, we're really treating them as Michigan City's youth soccer program, so we trying to help them as much as we can.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a wonderful
Sounds
program.
really
Yeah,
good.
my kids have played in it for 2 years and they're like already ready for daddy to volunteer to take them to soccer. So, but it's great.
Good.
Tim, you have any comments?
No, I think it's great. I think it'll, as long as Pat can do it, it's great.
Thank you, Pat. Comments from the public? If not, do we have a motion to accept the revised Wolves Soccer Club MOU?
I move that we accept the 2024 revised Wolves Soccer Club MOU.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
We have the, excuse me, agreement for the work on zoo tree work construction agreement. I read through it. Did we, or have we, or do we need to contact the forester?
So I spoke with the forester. This was already in the works before he was aware of it. And this is a timing issue. We want this work done before we open on the
30th.
29th, I think, or the Easter weekend or 30th. So he's fine with this. And we do now know the protocol for doing tree work within the city. This is our standard agreement. Our attorneys reviewed and approved it. Our insurance company has reviewed and approved it, but I will note the insurance company did allow us to reduce the insurance requirements on this job. Because of the scope, it's under $20,000. So I think the copy you got is our standard, like 4 million umbrella. And they've reduced it down to 1, so the signature copy is correct. And would definitely recommend you approve it tonight because we want this work to start tomorrow.
Questions? Comments? Public questions? Yes, if we want to get started tomorrow, we better vote on it tonight. With no questions, do we have a motion to agree to the agreement between us and the contractor for the tree removal?
I'll make a motion. Make a motion that we accept the zoo tree work contract agreement.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The Federale, all inclusive playground and fitness park fund. That I'm really excited about this thing. I hope it flies.
So currently, we need another $1 million to go to construction in 2025. So I have some grant opportunities, and the mayor is confident that we can fundraise the other $500,000 as a match. She has agreed to lead that campaign, and she has a lot of business connections, which I appreciate because I'm not a salesperson. So in order for companies to donate into a fund and get their tax breaks, I'd like to set up this Unity Foundation pass-through fund. This is similar to what we're doing with the old bandstand. We have a fund for that. So the contract is here. I did run this through the mayor's office and the city attorney, so they're in favor of it. If there are any funds left over, say we over fundraise, and there's 100,000 sitting in that fund, we are then able to convert that into a longer term maintenance fund. Well, it can be maintenance, capital, anything for Washington Park, which would include the zoo. So my hope is that we over fundraise and do end up with a balance that we can convert over for future improvements.
Shannon, we could move that to a water tower park and get pickleball clubs, courts, could we?
What's that?
Move that, if there's if we over raise, put it towards pickleball courts?
No, because
No,
it's gonna have to.
I
be
didn't think
specific
so,
to
but-
Washington.
Nice try.
Any other questions about the Fetters Alley all-inclusive playground and fitness park fund with the Unity Foundation? Public comment? If not, do we have a motion then to accept the Fetter Alley all-inclusive playground and fitness park fund?
I would move that we accept the Fitters Alley, excuse me, all-inclusive playground fitness park fund to the
Second.
Unity Foundation.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Shannon, do we have our the ordinance here that Mr. Dabney has proposed to bring another person here to increase the size? Do we need to do anything with that tonight?
No, that's going to the city council.
Okay.
So the board needs to take no action. I do, however, have one additional item of new business. Our purchase policy, well, actually, it's coming from the controller's office. We now have to put a checklist together for all of our purchases, and they need to be signed off on different thresholds. Anything over 50,000 needs to go to the park board for approval. This is just to get a purchase order. So I would ask the board to approve. It's a $50,000 purchase order for pesticides for the golf course for the whole year. So I would just need President Freeze to sign off.
Any questions with Park Board? Do we need to vote on that, Shannon?
Yes, that you approve the purchase order, yes.
we have a motion to approve the purchase order agreement?
I would move that we accept the purchase order agreement for pesticides.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Janet, do you want to
Motion
talk
carries.
about this? Next meeting? No.
Can we take a 2-minute recess?
Yes.
2-minute recess?
2-minute recess, okay.
Drank too much water.
Oh.
Never heard of that.
I guess he didn't hear me. I'm so sorry. We can go on ahead with item 10, the planning commission report. Do you have anything?
Nothing new, sir. We have a meeting next Tuesday at 6 p.m.
Okay. I did attend the Port Authority meeting Monday and there wasn't anything that was pertinent to us. Do you have anything, Mr. Glidden?
The Zoological Society met last week and they are planning to the brew at the zoo and the fun run.
Okay. I think Shannon's on her way back.
President, I'll help you with number 13. We have nothing new to report.
Okay, yeah, we can get that out of the way.
We're 5 seconds closer to
Yeah.
that. Thank you for that.
Oh.
And, yeah, no, I'm chatting, usually it's nothing.
Thank you.
Just the time, Shannon. We're ready for the superintendent's report.
Thank you. So some of you might have heard the city council has funded an internship program through the mayor's office. So the Parks Department submitted 6 applications for the program. The program is paid through that program's funding, not through the park. So we're able to get interns at no cost. They need to be project-based. So this isn't just like hiring parking attendants. So the 6 that we submitted were for the Oak Hills Park Design and Public Outreach, the Senior Center Data Management Program, Washington Park Recycling Program, Zoo Exhibit Design and Engineering, Zoo Sensory Program, and a Zoo Animal Medical Care Program. So we did attend the intern fair on March 13th at City Hall. All the city departments were there trying to grab the interns and prove that we're the best department to work for. So we did have some interest, and I will keep the board updated if we are awarded any of those. All of our full-time staff evaluations were completed in the first quarter. Regarding the golf pro shop, I was out there last Friday. The remodeling project is underway. It looks fantastic. The carpet was delayed, but that should arrive soon, but it's all freshly painted. The big octagon desk in the middle that looked like it was stolen from the Brady Bunch has now been removed. A smaller desk is up against the wall, which opens that entire room up for merchandise and more lounging areas, so it really looks great. And related to the golf course as well, because I am new at managing the course, I've never had to manage it, I'm not a golfer. I'd like to assemble a task force as the park board did back in 2009 and get 6 or 7 individuals that are not employees, not board members, to give us an objective look of the course. What can we improve? What are we doing right? What aren't we doing right? Take a good hard look at our finances, give us ideas. So I've got 6 names. Thank you. Feel free, submitted a couple to me. If you know anyone that would be great to serve on this board or task force has the time to do it and the interest, please send their information to me. I don't want it to be too big. I need it to be manageable. But right now I'm trying to like set up an outline and put the financial reports and something for them to work off of. And then I'll pull them all together and pretty much they'll be able to set their own schedule, send questions in, and it'll be like a revolving report until we finalize it. I'm guessing 3 months would be enough time. And this is the perfect time of year to do it because the course is almost open. So if you have any ideas related to that, please send them my way, but I think it's a good tool for Will and I to learn the golf course, make adjustments, get opinions. So those of you that were here in 2009, remember it was very valuable and a lot of great ideas came out of it that we implemented. And that is the end of my report.
I was here and the committee did a great job pointing out things that, and I was a golfer at that time, but pointing out things that were both good and some things that we could improve on. So I think this is a super idea to get that committee together. Talk to Shannon, would have not only males, but also some female representation on this committee. And again, if you know anybody that is interested in golf and helping the course, if you submit the name to Shannon, she'd appreciate it. Any vandalism?
Just one report on March 13th, someone bent the track on the wheelchair lift at the stage of North Point Pavilion. Cost to repair was $100.
Okay. Well, you have a report?
Yes. So this coming Sunday, March 24th, is our Hop to the Park Easter Crafts event at the Senior Center. It's going to be a lot of arts, crafts, and games for little kids. I would say ages walkable through like 8. I think it'll be nice for the little kids. Been a lot of fun planning stuff I haven't thought about doing in a while, even though I got little kids at home. A lot of new things going into this planning. Next, youth baseball signups in on April 7th. We're about 11 kids away from T-ball being to capacity, so make sure you get the little ones signed up. Drop-in clinics for basketball will be happening every Sunday in April at Michigan City High School for 1st to 8th graders, starting at 3 o'clock. There will be a schedule for the different grades that comes out after this week, so next week. And the men's basketball league is over. Championship game was on Sunday. without going into too much detail, the same team won the regular season and the tournament, so. You know,
Do you-
it was,
do
it was,
you-
it was a good year.
Do you know which team that was, sir?
Shannon's team. It was Shannon's team.
Great
That was
coaches.
my team. Let's go City. Let's go City. Win it all. And that's it.
Yeah, I noticed in the paper, that there's been, little blurps about the youth baseball, T-ball, and, I sure hope, that T-ball fill up. That might be a first. Anyhow, thanks for, doing that, Will.
Yep, no problem.
Do we have any directors' reports?
No, sir.
Mr. Glidden, Department of Finance.
All right, have the Michigan City Park Department claims docket for March 20th, municipal, $78,141.17. Zoo Casino, $6,231.20. Total claims, $84,372.37. I would move that we meet the claims docket.
I'll make a motion.
We
We
need
accept
second. Second.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I will second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have the payroll for number 5, 2024, February 18th through March 2nd, pay date 3/8/2024. Total payroll $68,757.05. I would move that we accept the payroll.
Second.
I'll s-
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
I have gifts and donations. Allstate Prendergast donation, Youth Baseball League sponsorship, $350. GAF donation, Youth Baseball League team sponsorship, $350. Crystal Herendine donation pantry sponsorship, $300. I would move that we accept these generous gifts and donations.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
The Zoo Endowment invoices totaling $6,231.20 were paid to Meyer Glass and Mirror replacement for 4 windows. $6,231.20. I would move that we accept the Zoo Endowment invoice.
Second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Credit card charges totaling $4,067.11 were paid to corporate payment systems for the following: Amazon.com, Zoo Gator seat covers, $199.99. Indiana.gov North Point elevator permit, $131.32. Amazon.com maintenance green vinyl, $22.27. Amazon.com maintenance ink toner cartridge, $63.89. eReplacementParts.com maintenance mount foot generators, $26.48. Amazon.com recreational digital scale for the pantries, $50.39. AED Superstore, AED pads for all locations, $3,366.10. And EpicSports.com's administrative staff shirts, Will Walker, $206.67. I would move that we accept these credit card charges.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's it. Comments from the public? Thank you for your patience.
Good evening, Willa Fay Moore, 515 Grace Street, Michigan City. I have a question about Walker Street Park's new food pantry that's been put out there. Who is responsible for filling it and keeping it going?
Answer. We would like for it to be self-sufficient, for the community to put stuff in it and whoever needs anything to take it out of there. We do go and check the pantries to make sure that there's stuff in there and we keep putting stuff in. But the one that's at Gardenia has been self-sufficient. We haven't had to put anything in there, but the one at Walker Park, we have to keep stocking it up, and sometimes there's been a little vandalism over there a couple times, but I mean, we're happy that people are taking things.
Okay, because we do have some community people that have been putting things in, but we had our Eastport Neighborhood Association meeting on Monday evening, and the president gave us the impression that the neighborhood association has been given that task to glean food and put food in there. So that's why I'm coming before the,
Just clarification.
yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would say we put it up as our job to keep it stocked. But we are hoping that the community comes together to help keep it stocked. So it's kind of like a giving thing, you know.
Okay,
just
so we will help and people have been helping. I know I've seen two members and I have some food to put in there myself. So my next question is, I received a letter about Walker Street Garden. That is, we're no longer gonna have resident beds at the garden. And so I was told to find out from the park department about that.
Yeah, I did talk to Dominique Edwards. I want to say it was last year, though, late in the year. And I know she mentioned mixing up the beds this year, but honestly, I don't remember exactly what it was. Can you send that letter to me?
Okay, okay, then
But
I
They're
have,
not gonna have any resident beds? So it's
well,
all-
she said it's gonna be a complete community garden and open to everybody. And we won't have our assigned beds like we've had in the past. But with that, who's gonna be responsible helping us with the water? The seeds they provided our seeds for us before. We just gave them a list. They gave us our plants, starter plants, and it was just beautiful that, Dominique and them brought that for us, and all we had to do was plant it and keep watering it and weed it and try to keep the animals out.
I'll reach out to her, because we're getting ready to put in, new water lines out there to make it easier to water. We're also looking into adding electric, so.
Okay,
Yeah, a lot of things going on, which could include lighting that I know everyone's requesting and cameras, things of that nature. So I'll call her tomorrow just to see exactly what they're doing. Did the letter say why the changeover?
no. Okay.
And then regarding the food pantry, just let your neighborhood association know, like call us if needs to be restocked.
Well, so far the community has been keeping it going. It's just that, our president gave us the impression that it was put on us to do it and, without us even having anything involved as far as putting it there in the beginning.
Right, no, that's our responsibility, and we did do a food drive, a few weeks ago that was hugely successful.
Right.
I think Lake Hills, Edgewood, and Knapp all did food drives and donated towards these pantries, so. But it's helpful if the neighbors keep an eye on it and call and say, hey, we could use.
So we do thank you guys for thinking of us in the Eastport neighborhood and putting the pantry there and having the garden there. But we want you to continue to help give us the plants and the seeding.
Thank you. Any other comments? Comments from the board? What? None? Diane? Comment?
I know that at the golf course, you had a lot of volunteers helping out, so make sure that we get their names and we'll thank them publicly.
No further comments? We have,
quick comment.
sorry, Brian. You were
Yeah,
so quiet
just-
down there. I missed you.
I know. Just want to commend the mayor for stepping up tonight. And, we had the discussion that was going back and forth and how she stepped in to kind of put the end to the back and forth where, things can really get heated. People can say some things that to each other, that can really hurt somebody else's feelings. And I'm glad she stepped up and some of the control, from people in the park board and some control from the people in the audience that it didn't get to that. Because I've seen situations that it can get to that very quickly. And I'm happy that it did not go totally out of control. So I want to commend the mayor for stepping in and say, okay, we're gonna get rid of this back and forth. And so I was happy to see that the issue was solved and done rather peacefully.
Thank you. That was gonna be my comment. So try not to be redundant. If there aren't any further comments, our next meeting will be Wednesday, April 3rd, 5 p.m. here in this arena. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you.